Yeah, man, this is Graham Morgan, and you're watching World Music Views. This is where they keep it real. Bless. Yes, sir.
What a go on, Gramps.
There, I know.
Grammy winning, Grammy nominated. How many Grammys he got nominated for? No.
14.
14.
Yeah.
Well, go through them because I missed a few. Start from the first one. This is 97.
No, this was first Grammy nominated was India Re. That was 2012. Yeah, I think that was 2012. No, lie. 2010. So you have that one with a song I did called Therapy. And then I have Buju Banton, which I won with called Before the Dawn. Then I have Sly and Robbie nomination. Then I have
By nomination, you mean you were on the albums?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
As featured nomination.
I meant Gramps Morgan.
Oh, Grams one nomination.
And how many has Morgan Heritage?
Morgan Heritage. One win, one nomination.
So multiple nomination.
Yeah.
Grammy winning. It's Grammy seasoning. I don't know if you realize.
Oh, that's true. That's right. Yes, right. Yeah.
So they're about to read out the nominees in a few weeks.
Yes.
Who you got?
I gotta roll my Dyson Spice. That's an incredible dancehall album. What she has able to have been achieve on her own, and building up from the album that she did with Shaggy, building up with everything that she's done live, her fan base, her reach, and what she's done on the charts has just been phenomenal worldwide. I mean, I probably have never seen that in a long time. What she's been able to accomplish with her record sales, with multiple number ones in several countries. That's not easy to do.
So as a reggae man, you didn't choose a reggae album. Is it a Reggae is Dead?
No, absolutely not. Far from it. I mean, it's being fused and it's being. Remember, dancehall is the baby of reggae, right? So of course, reggae is doing what it's doing, but I think it's appearing in the several different places. We cannot forget what Skillibeng is doing. You know, you can't forget about what Buju Banton has just accomplished, but I don't think his album is going to be in this one. But there's so much things that reggae is doing. You have Bugle just released the album. Etana released the album. There's so many artists that have released an album that we haven't heard about. And then you got the artists here in the United States that are releasing reggae albums as well.
You talk about Buju. Buju made history. We're actually about to drop the numbers for Buju's tour. He's unequivocally the most successful reggae act in the US.
Absolutely.
In terms of tour, one of the shows is what other artists do for 5 shows.
That's correct.
20,000 people, one show. That's a big arena times 4, right?
Yeah.
But he's doing that one night, and he did it. I think he did 8 nights.
Yes.
Already, and he's gonna do Brooklyn in November.
Yes.
You were on the tour.
Yes.
First of all, what is it like to be back on the road with Buju, someone who you know from before? You were on tour with him before. What is it like now being back with him?
JR, it is a feeling uncomparable. It was a very emotional tour because of how far we have come before we did a tour together. But just as fans of each other's, and from the first time we did the 23rd Psalms And when Buju sent for Morgan Heritage in 1998 in the UK to first be the opening act for him, and then when Don't Have Dread was just bubbling on the scene, and him say, "Yo, one of you there." Tour with me and as an opening act, and he had 8 shows in the UK, and he sent for us. And when I came back from that trip, me and Buju since then we haven't left each other, because I taught him to do some push-ups in the hotel that day, that he was like, "Yo, teach me some of them push-up there," and I showed him, and from then musically we went back home to Jamaica after that tour, and he linked me up on a green motorcycle and said, "Yo, wake up, man." At the time I was staying in Meadowbrook. And he picked me up, we went to the studio, and he said, "Yo, Mo, I'm here to sing a tune." And that was The Lord's My Shepherd, 23rd Psalm. And since then, it's just been, and then in 2000, I believe 2010 it was, that's when we end up, our 2010 or 11, we end up the Rasta Got Soul tour. And that's when he went on that little vacation. But so to be back on the tour with him is an energy of just to be like, yo, brethrens, but musically as well. And so happy for him that he has taken his rightful place as an artist, takes his rightful place doing his purpose that God has raised him for and blessed him. But to represent Jamaica, to say, yeah, Jamaica is winning in this way, and to see the audience come out to him, that is more impactful for me, JR, to see it and know, say, yo, as a Jamaican is selling out this, because a lot of people are saying that reggae is this and reggae is that, but apparently that the love for reggae is still alive and people still want to hear good reggae music.
That's it, when it's good. Why do you think the people them love Buju so though? Because reggae artists out there, no reggae artists out there do show.
Yeah.
Why do them love Buju so much?
I think it's a connection with the people. I think it's that maroon spirit, that fighting spirit that identifies with every Jamaican. Every Jamaican, we always have that thing that people resonate with around the world. And I think Buju has done an incredible job to maintain that, to be that girl, just that grit. Because every Jamaican, even the girl who work at the bank uptown, she still have a little bit of rudeness now, you know what I mean? And I think Buju has maintained that so much, that identifies with the culture of the Jamaican people. Same thing, I think Bounty Kill have that same kind of energy too. Shabba Ranks has that same kind of energy. Several of the DJs, but I think there's something that people have that resonate with the people, that they seen Buju go through so much layers, you know, from the Me Love Me Browning to there's something about his connection to the people. Till him come till Shiloh, we chant Rastafari's name, till him go 2020, and then start experimenting, fusing music, which he should do as a creative, to see, you know, the creative space of an artist. You should never put yourself in a box. So that connection that he's always had with the people, it hasn't gone anywhere. And Jamaican people's are loyal people. It's like when a man knows him love Burger King, but when McDonald's came to Jamaica, it didn't do too well. Actually, McDonald's ended up leaving. But Jamaican is a lie. When them love something, them just love something.
It's true. It's true. I find it fascinating. The Buju story, it's almost like a movie for reggae music, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So as Buju got through reggae switching back to Jamaica, because I've seen it. I've seen what's going on in California. I'm just coming from Vegas, by the way.
Nice.
Bob Marley's 56 Hope Road experience going to Vegas soon.
Wow.
Currents and Primary Wave. They're going to have a whole experience in Mandalay Bay.
Wow.
Similar. I think it's. I don't know what it looked like because they haven't revealed that, but I think it's similar to what Whitney Houston has, because Primary Wave, I believe, also owns Whitney Houston as well.
Wicked.
What's next for reggae? Is it that the Jamaican reggae and the California hybrid reggae is going to coexist? Or you think there's a roots rock renaissance that's going to happen?
I think it's going to coexist. For many, many years, there's always been reggae artists outside of Jamaica, such as Lucky Dube. And then you see when Tony Johnson brought Lucky Dube on Reggae Sunsplash, I believe that was in 1993 or 94. And Lucky Dube made a big splash, and people was like, yo, this reggae artist from South Africa. And then you had the Alpha Blondes that were, so you always had prominent reggae artists outside of Jamaica, right? But not as big as those two artists that I just named. And then you had the California reggaes and let's call it North American reggae, because they're not all from California. Like Soulja is from Washington D.C. They're not from California.
Virginia.
So that Virginia.
And then you have some from Hawaii too. I went to Hawaii with Taurus Riley 2 years ago. It was crazy over there too.
Yeah. So, hence you see, even my brother, rest in peace, my brother Peter Morgan, the energy of knowing that the music is going to continue to reach its rightful people. Reggae music, it never did. Soon you're going to see there's already a South Korean reggae artist in South Korea that I was over there and met up with him, and he brought me his CD, and I was like, wow, and it just happened by mistake because I was traveling with my wife on a medical trip over there. And it just, so for me, JR, I think that this is just another season of reggae. It's like there's always an artist from Jamaica with that breakout, whether it was Shabba Ranks, whether it was Beenie Man, whether it was Buju, whether it was the Bounty Killer and the Fugees breakout. There's always been that season. So I think we're a genre that is here to stay. The music is not going anywhere, and it's just a season. It's a great season for reggae, and I think what Buju has accomplished touring is supposed to give a lot of artists around the world that are of Jamaican descent hope to know, say, reggae music is still alive. Just put your best foot forward when it comes to production of music, songwriting skills, and putting out the music with a prominent or somebody that's responsible to take the music to where it's supposed to go. And then make sure you put your craft together. That's one of the things that a lot of people don't talk about. What an incredible performer Buju is, right? Why do the people still want to see Buju? It's because the man sweating in his shoes. This is something me and him talk about from the very first time, when him say, why me have to sweating in my shoes so hard? And here we are, 30, 40 years later in my career, about 30 odd years later, and he's still doing it at the highest level. And there's a lot of artists that don't work on that part of their career, is becoming a great performer.
When Mr. Buju shoes them, I say, I wear Buju are going to them Gideon boot then. But you must sweat in his shoes.
Yeah, him leave it all up on the stage, man.
As I know, wear sneakers, him dress up shoes.
Yeah.
You mentioned your brother, and the world was shocked when we saw the unfortunate loss of Peter Morgan. He was for a long time the face of Morgan Heritage. Like, when you think Morgan Heritage, you don't have to dread for be Rasta. You just had his image and voice in your head, right? So that's like Buju, like a voice of Jamaican music.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, and I'm gonna pry you a little bit, what was that feeling like when you heard that your brother is no longer with us?
Sickness. A part of me went away. A part of me got chopped off. Something was stripped of me. Robbery, stealing, injustice. That was the feeling that came off my body when I got the phone call. I was actually on my way to him. And till this day, it still don't feel the same. But I know what I give thanks for in this time mostly is my friends and family. And I can say that not all of your friends are your family, and not all of your friends, not all your family is your friends, and not all of your friends are your family. Because there's some of my friends that are closer to me than my own flesh and blood, right? Not for any particular reason, but because we just spend a lot of time with people in the music industry, right? And the energy is where it's like a piece of your gun in a JR, but it's like that militancy that we always spoke about on the tour bus, and we always talk about. So you have to go through and do your works, and the Rasta militancy. We give thanks to Rasta culture, especially in this time, because that militancy where say you're a soldier, that energy where say you have to do your work all the time. That's what's been carrying me through, and the power of the music and being able to listen to him without crying and going through that pain there. I listened to arguably the greatest reggae singer of all time. And I say that because I've heard and has made music with some of the greatest vocalists in the world, not in the genre of reggae. But when you listen to this man's voice, and when he passed, the vocalists that called me to pay them respect, from the India Rees to the John Legends to the, you name it, is like, oh wow, you guys Uno did hear when me hear. And you know what's funny is that I was Peter's favorite vocalist, and I was his favorite vocalist, and he was the same thing with me. I mean, sometimes we just come off a stage and they say, "Yo, you're bad enough. That note that we leaked tonight." They say, "Oh," and I'm saying, "No, that no." And then the next show or next story, maybe like, "Yo, the Rams, you're dangerous." So we would always recognize, because we studied the greatest vocalists from the Toots and the Maytals, the Berries, the Stevie Wonders, the Gap bands, all the greatest vocals that every vocalist, when you want to become a vocalist, there's a list of vocalists you have to study. If you don't study them, then you're not on your way of greatness. Then you take a piece of all of these vocalists and make it yourself. Like Lukie D is one of the baddest vocalists to me out of Jamaica that a lot of people don't talk about. As a vocalist, Tarrus Riley, the Romain Virgilus, and we're talking Romain Virgo, we're talking about vocalists. But my brother, the work that he's done, and you know, sometimes I feel just laugh and say maybe God was putting together a band and he needed a lead singer, you know, because I still don't understand why my brother gone. And you can't question God, you know, so you humbly take that. But what's carrying me through, JR, is Rasta culture, and they brought up, say, I've been growing up as a Rasta youth, that militancy is, you know, say, be strong, the works have to go on.
Wow. It's the first time I hear you talk about him. And
yeah, I haven't talked about it. You're very blessed for me and you speak about it, because it's only one interview I've really spoke about it on.
It's very important that his legacy is properly documented. And I know you're going to carry that on because you're a spiritual singer. You dropped a song during the pandemic. But I don't know if you know how impactful that song has been to funerals, to people losing people, to all kind of things. I see people just chip in. There's a place for people, lovers.
yes.
Where you find that song? Like, what was going on in your brain when you found For People Like You?
Comfort.
Is that the name of the song? That's the part we call it. We call it For People Like You.
Yeah, it's People Like You, it's called. People Like You. Well, JR, what was going through my mind was in particularly when I went in the studio, I was supposed to go and sing a song separately from that, because I was working on the Positive Vibration album. And what happened was the producer of the album, Johnny Reed, saw what I was going through, because that was the morning I was attending. Remember, you could not attend a funeral back in those days. Everything was online funerals.
Don't remind me.
Right. So Uncle David, my father's brother, had passed away, and we couldn't go to the funeral, but I was still going to the studio that morning. That same morning, Bobby Digital passed away. And I was just like, what in the world is going on? Rest in peace to Bobby Digital, because he was just an honest person in Morgan Heritage life, you know, just an honest soul, and just a lover of the music and a connoisseur of the music. And JR, I want to tell you, my head was so mashed up that I just still showed up to the studio to say, when Johnny Reed look at me and say, "What's wrong, mate? What's wrong, man?" See, yo, my uncle passed away. I'm about to watch the funeral online, and my producer from Jamaica that I've worked with for over 20 years passed away. And he said, "Oh man," and I said, "Mate, why don't you put your voice on this song?" And we put the energy. You can listen to the song. It's very eerie and I'm very like, you know, until the end of the song, which you guys never heard, you know, I just break down. And so it was an energy of the loss, the feeling of loss, and then knowing what people were going through in the pandemic. The airlines were still working, people at the supermarket still working, people in the hospital still working, and those people weren't being appreciated. So it was a giving of the flowers, of, so to speak. Like, people were just to say, hey, listen, if you give a little more than it take, if you try to fix more than you break, if you're the kind who takes the time to help a stranger in the rain, then there's a place for people like you. So that was the energy that I went in to sing that song. So people connect with that. It's the same thing that I'm telling you with Buju, when certain lyrics, you just connect. It's like when you hear the intro and Buju says, strangest feeling I'm feeling, but your love we will always be. It's the melody and the words, and and those songs only come about every 20 years to 25 years, JR. And I got blessed. I wouldn't say lucky, because it was the right time, the right song, the right words, the right melody for the right people. So it just connected. And those things, you know, it's not every day you're going to hear a We Are the World. It's not every day you're going to hear a 23rd Psalm. It's not every day you're going to hear certain songs. It's just special moment.
Yeah. And you are on the YouTube top 10 chart. This
Shocking.
is a chart based on streams.
Yeah.
It's the first time Jamaica have chart based on real numbers, by the way. Before, it's gunshot determined which song are number one. Boom, boom. But now,
thank you in advance for that.
The official YouTube WMV chart, you were number 6 the week before. You're number 7 this week, but you're the only reggae artist, you and Louis York. And it's in a sea of trap dancehall music.
Unbelievable.
And for you to just be the sole reggae song in the middle of squash, telling people to show out, and you're there, it means that your consciousness is a balance amidst this gritty Jamaican thing. Because Jamaica rough, you know, and these youths are singing what's going on, but you're also singing what's going on, which is the humanity of the people. Tell me how that song came about, how you started working with York, and what's the journey been like with the song?
Well, with Louis York, no, it's been a journey. Louis York, I met them at a Grammy event here in Nashville, Tennessee. And we were, the event was like a mixer where each Grammy nominee would play their album, right? So you'd play some songs, and then the next artist would play some songs and then there was engineers in the room, producers, songwriters, and we would all basically say, whoa, well, that's a good thing. Well, that's a good mix. Oh, great lyrics, great this. And the voting process, where a lot of people don't realize that the music is a peer-based voting system. It's not based on fans, so fans can never vote. It's fans of the music that critique, that say that's a horrible mix, that's a good song, that's a horrible song. It's people that, so it was that kind of event. And years later, I think it was maybe a year later, 2 years later, they were putting together some songs, and they said, man, we got to do a song together, man. And these guys are, just for them for even looking at my direction, I'm like, on the one, the song with me. And after me, I work with Celine Dion and Michael Jackson, some incredible vocalists. I was like, wow. And they said, yo, we researched your stuff, man. Boom. And we've been watching. I said, yeah. And boom. Right outside of the pandemic, I went to the studio. This is right before People Like You. And then we started working together, and they said, yo, we got the song. I went in and played the song for me, had the lyric sheet. I adjusted some things to kind of make it mine and make it sound like a Grams song, a Grams verse. And it was just magic, man. But it was a dream come true, because I know Claude Kelly as a songwriter from New York, which he's also of Jamaican descent. A lot of people don't know that, from St. Thomas. That is even more scary. And so when we start and I'm starting to connect, I'm saying, no, you that from New York. If you wanted a hit, you had to go to Claude Kelly in New York. And then Chuck Harmony was a producer. So they came together, and one is from St. Louis and one is from New York. So that's how they came up with the name of the band, called Louis York. So we got together, and it was just like a thing. We just started singing, and India Ree had told me about them. She was doing a song with them as well. And eventually we just crossed paths. And in Nashville, the whole thing with music is straight about music. It's not a lot of hype and fast cars and six-pack. And it's about the quality of the music, the quality of the song and the lyric, and the quality of the production. And we just connected, and from that, I said, yo, more I know come to Jamaica, more I introduce it, which we're still supposed to look. I want you to meet them and let them meet the Jamaican media because it's so ironic that Claude Kelly is of Jamaican descent. Like them come from Bath, his family come from Bath, St. Thomas. So when you see the video, we shot that video in a Bath. I'm gonna say, well, go back to the foundation, and they went and paid respect where my father is buried in St. Thomas on our estate. They went there and paid respect. So it was an amazing trip. We went there and shot the video in one day and fly out the next day. It was because time was short.
That's amazing that the song went straight to the YouTube charts in Jamaica. Because we're talking about hundreds of songs being released from Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
And for you to find one in the middle of this trap dancehall renaissance, it just showed the power of your songwriting, the collab with Louis York, and just something that's needed. And I told this to Taurus Riley that reggae is never gonna die, you know. It's just the rightful people gonna find it every now and again. And
that's correct.
You're gonna find that you can release a song today and it not get really big till next 5 years, you know. Bob Marley Catch a Fire album never sold. I think it sold up something like 6,000 copies first year.
Oh my God. See?
Blackwell said it never sold. He said he had to put money behind it and push it, and he told the label, release the other albums. And I think they released 3 albums the same year.
Whoa, you see? And that's always been a pattern.
Imagine if they had shelved Catch a Fire. Imagine if they were like, that's trash. That's not selling.
Yeah.
So reggae, when I look at things with reggae, unlike dancehall, and I see some dancehall songs happening with streaming, but reggae is a long sell.
Yes.
It's a very long sell. Buju Banton's Still Shiloh took 25 years to sell 500,000 copies.
Yeah.
And it's still selling. That's the key. It is still selling. It's different from when you drop an album and it sells one time and all we're done with that. So that's what I look at. When I see the song, that's what I thought in my head. When I see other reggae songs for people like you, I'm like, you know, these songs are going to be like for years in movies and all kind of things.
Yeah.
In terms of your career, you win Grammy. You win Soul Train Award? Did you win a Soul Train?
Nominated. I got nominated
for Soul Train.
Egyptian one that year.
What else you want out of the music?
To bridge, to make bridges between our music, because there's so many talented artists. Like I want to share my knowledge that I've given because I've done so much. But what's next for our country? What's next for our genre? And it's the next generation. It's bringing them to these doors and these bridges and these gates to really say, hey, let's do something with this. Let's do something with this songwriter. Let's do something with this producer. Let's do it this. That's what's next for me. I've been doing a lot of philanthropy work, doing stuff, you know, building basketball courts with my son. We built one in the Philippines. His foundation is called BJ's 38 Foundation. And of course, the work that my wife does. So I've been doing a lot of stuff in the medical field. And of course, with cannabis, healing my son, you know, and realizing me don't even smoke ganja, but learning the power and the true data and the true medical potential of this plant, that we know that most medicine that we take over the counter today is from plant derived, right? So a lot of those things take up a lot of my time, but it's really musically is taking the music to places that it hasn't gone before. I would love to see a reggae festival in China. I would love to see a reggae festival in some parts of South America with their, you know, Argentina, that, you know, hear about a reggae festival in Peru, you know. So the music we don't even scratch the surface yet, and still able to have some of the biggest, most impactful music and culture in the world.
Yeah. My last question, we got 4 minutes.
Yes.
Last question is, what are your thoughts on, I interviewed Vybz Kartel. He said that he's following a path of God. Him saying, believe in a God. He said, if it wasn't for God, he wouldn't be here now. And he's following a path of Buju Banton, where Buju came out, Buju hit the road, Buju did the show in stadium. He's doing the show in stadium. What do you think of Vybz Kartel the most popular person in dancehall music right now?
Vybz Kartel is quite the marketing genius. I remember I'll never forget meeting him in Yalas. And if he sees this, Kartel, you remember when you meet me in a Yalas, St. Thomas? And there was a dance in a parking lot. And I said, I have to meet this guy. Can I do a song name State of Emergency. And I said, yo, emergency, people are so far around here. And I say, yo, that DJ, I'm a dancehall fan and a Shabba Ranks, I'm a DJ. Anybody know that Shabba, I'm a DJ, and Buju Banton and Admiral Bailey and Lieutenant Stitchy. If you know Gramps, you know that. And when I met him, I was like, yo, this guy, there's a star quality about him. There's a impact in his lyric and his flow. And I said to him that night, I said, yo, Moy, do some more conscious lyrics, you know, which he can do. And then I realized the substance of the man, there's just like a Rasta thing, the inner end, that same spirit that I'm telling you about, what makes, he has that same Buju Banton chemistry that just attached to the people, the inner city. And that's what makes him relevant. So to see him, the greatest thing for me as a father is to see him with him children again. That's the most powerful thing. Forget about music, but for him to be free and to be with him family, that is the most biggest thing. Because we as artists, as hard as we work, we do it to pay our bills, but to make sure our family can get things and live a life that we couldn't live and that our children. The same thing my father did want for me when he left Clarendon and got America for a better life. And then we returned to Jamaica. So to see Kartel free now and able to take care of family and be able to deliver to the fans, it's a beautiful thing. So welcome home, Kartel, originally from the Morgan Heritage family. Officially.
Last thing, sell a song. Have it. What's the name of the song again?
Have a Little Light.
Have a Little Light. Louis York featuring Gramps Morgan. Tell them about the song, sing a piece, and tell them where they can go and find it.
You can find it on all digital platforms. Please go and support this song. It's a great song to start the weekend or to start the week, and especially in the mornings. It's called Have a Little Light featuring Louis York. And it's an incredible song that's to make you just feel better and lift up your spirits when you think that everything is over and you think that you can't get over. You can listen to the chorus that says, have a little light in the morning, have a little light in the afternoon, have a little light in the evening, watch all the world opens up to you. Yeah, man.
Gramps Morgan, this is World Music Views. Thank you so much, Brethren.
Big up yourself, man.